Hey, everybody, it's CJ Graham. That's right, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, Part 6. And you're listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall.
Always two sides to every coin.
Oh, it had to tell me recording in progress. Now we know for sure. All right.
Yes, we are actively live. And since we are actively live, I might as well say, hey guys, welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly Show. Yay!
Woohoo!
I am back. Sorry, I was gone for a minute. And quite honestly, for you guys, it would feel like a minute because I was only gone for one show. But I am back to kind of reel in the madhouse here because Kolin and Serenity just do not know how to behave themselves when I'm not here.
They were getting naughty. I was trying to keep things under control.
Gotta have fun.
You know me, I'm all about order.
Order, yeah. Order in a court. I'll have a cheeseburger. Sit down, AOC. All right, guys, we're going to start this one off quick, sweet, and to the point. As always, with Mr. Don Smith and the News Buffet. Don, take it away.
All right, I'm going to take it away, and we'll see what the hell we can do with it. Let's get started. We're going to go straight to Florida.
Of course.
Just because of the headline. A woman from Florida was arrested Saturday for reportedly leading troopers on a high-speed chase that spanned multiple counties, authorities said. The Florida Highway Patrol said troopers,
Same thing.
6 of one, half of, troopers responded Saturday morning to an alert from the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office that said deputies were in pursuit of a stolen vehicle headed southbound on I-75 in Sumter County. A trooper observed the car in question, a 2009 Cadillac sedan traveling on Interstate 75 in Hernando County. When they tried pulling over the car, the driver fled and began driving the vehicle at 110 miles per hour. Deputies pursued the driver along I-75 and eventually onto a state road before they stopped the car with a pit maneuver, and the woman was detained. Rachel Lynn Stefankick or Stefankitch, I don't know, something like that, 24, of Plant City, nearly fully unclothed, which is a weird way to say half naked.
Yeah.
Nearly fully unclothed, was immediately taken into custody and arrested for grand theft auto, reckless driving, fleeing and eluding, possession of methamphetamine, that goes without saying, and driving while license suspended, the Highway Patrol said. Stefankitch, I don't know, who cares, was later delivered to Hernando County Jail. So, nearly fully unclothed.
Nearly fully unclothed says to me that she was completely naked, but she still had her panties on one ankle.
Right. That sounds about right to me. Nearly fully unclothed.
They interrupted her right when she was going to use her toe to fucking flip those things up and catch them with her hand.
Right.
Which I do every night before shower. I feel good every time I catch them.
Oh, yeah, you have to do that. Even my knees have been shot for the past couple of weeks, and I'm on anti-inflammatory so I can walk, and I still kick my underwear up in the air when I'm getting ready to get in the shower.
It's a great feeling when you catch them on the first Although the greatest feeling is one time I did it, and I let go of my toes too early so they didn't go up. They went out and over, and I got them hung on the fucking bathroom doorknob.
Oh, that's...
Or that's a bonus right there.
Yeah, or you're trying to be sexy and do that, and it smacks her in the face. Yeah, that'll throw you off your game right there for sure.
Like
I've heard. Not that I've ever done something that stupid.
It's like when
uncool, because I don't do uncool things.
It's like you're getting down with your girl and she's on her time of the month, but she's still raring to go, but you have to pull out the tampon, so you rip it out and you throw it behind your shoulder, and after you're done and getting ready to leave, you find out it's stuck to the wall.
That went an entirely different direction. All I was telling was a nice story about a meth head driving naked through Florida. And you had to go and make it dirty, Stolle. What's your name again?
Well, I had to make it somewhat entertaining because, meth heads driving through Florida, in other news, water's wet.
That's true. That's true. I mean, there is there is quite a bit of that there, I suppose. Let's just judging from the headline, let's see if we can guess the state.
Florida.
Here's the headline: Man steals excavator, tries to hit officers with the bucket. That was my first thought too. That was my first. What's that?
West Virginia.
Actually, California. I was surprised by that. Yeah, that's it. Threw me off. One man is under arrest after Madera police say he stole an excavator from a construction job site and attempted to strike officers with the attached bucket. According to the police, 33-year-old Hugo Barrera was driving the excavator westbound on Avenue 14 when officers arrived. Barrera refused to leave the vehicle and attempted to fend off officers with the excavator bucket. Nice. Officers were eventually able to get the cabin open and Barrera surrounded. He was later booked into Madera County Jail.
I am shocked that anybody from California even knows how to operate an excavator. Because that requires actually,
well, this sounds like something he learned on Grand Theft Auto, though. That's what everybody knows. You get the biggest, meanest looking vehicle and you just chase people down. That's what you do on Grand Theft Auto.
Now I want to reinstall GTA 5 and see if I can get an excavator.
You should be able to. And you should be able to swing that bucket around and smack people with it. That's if not, they need somebody needs to make a mod for that game to do that.
Right.
That needs to happen right there. Because
do that on GTA Online, so that way you're pissing off players at the same time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That makes sense. That sounds like fun.
It does sound like both in the video game and in live action. That would be a blast.
Rather do it in real life.
Oh, yeah, that would be so much better. Okay, this. I'm just curious. This worst pizza is found in this Midwest city. What's your favorite pizza? What's the best pizza? The question can spark quite the debate no matter where you are, but definitely in St. Louis, where the pizza recently helped Missouri earn a spot on the Food and Wine List's top 10 of 10 best pizzas, 10 best pizza states. I don't see how that happens in Missouri. The question came up again in a segment for NFL Network's Good Morning Football program on Friday morning, but it yielded a different response about St. Louis. Co-host Kay Adams asked about a variety of NFL topics, and then the subject turned to food. When asked about the best pizza, she demurred, but did offer her take on the worst. I will say the worst pizza is found in St. Louis, Missouri.
I agree with it.
She says, you know what I'm talking about. I won't say the name of the place, but if you know, you know. That's pretty bad if it's that. I wish they would have named it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like ever giving credit to this state, but New York is the best pizza. Guess what, Chicago? You don't have the best pizza. Deep dish does not make it. Just because you don't know how to flatten the dough does not make it.
Right. Well, deep dish, that's breaded lasagna.
Yeah.
Which is great in its own right. It doesn't make it the best pizza though.
But St. Louis, Missouri having the best pizza? No. The only people voting for that are the ones that are fucking totally hopped up on heroin, which is the only thing they really produce in St. Louis.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know much about St. Louis, but I can't see them really having the best of anything there. It's like
I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of pizza. I worked pipeline for a while and I traveled around. West Virginia, I don't know, the best pizza I've seen there was probably Domino's.
Yeah. Hey, at least they brought the Noid back.
Which is bad pizza.
At least they brought the Noid back.
They got it to me hot in 30 minutes or less, so that was cool. But other than that, I remember Famous Pizza out in Denver was pretty good. Serenity actually brought me to check that place out because I never tried it before when I first moved there. And then Woody's Wood-Fired Pizza in Golden, Colorado. Those guys rock. They got the best pizza buffet you ever seen. They got pineapple pizza, orange marmalade pizza, freaking chicken, bacon pizza. You name it, they got it. And it's got a buffet. It's like $12 or something for the all-you-can-eat buffet. And me and my buddies would go down there and we would muck down like 3 or 4 pizzas, just going nuts at it. It was great.
One of the best pizzas I ever had in Colorado was actually out in Ellicott. It was a gas station. It's like the only gas station within like 10 miles of anything. But they actually made their own taco pizza. And of course, you know, when you think of taco pizza, of course, ground meat, cheese, lettuce, onion, tomato chunks and all that. But they also even broke up tortilla chips to be the taco crust on this pizza. Man, it was so fucking good.
That does sound good. There are a couple of good places here in the Dayton area. One of my favorites unfortunately closed down, but they're thinking about reopening just to do catering, and that's Rocky's Pizza Ring. Had some of the best pizza in this area. Being a Dayton, Ohio native, I'm going to say something that's probably going to earn me a lot of enemies in the Dayton area. Marion's Pizza, not that fucking good. And people in this area rave about it. It's like, to me, it's a really salty fucking cracker with a little bit of sauce and some weird toppings.
You know what?
It's not great.
You know what? We got that here in Philly. Like you see most people when they talk about Philly, like of course the cheesesteak.
Right.
You know, they always make the argument it's either Pat's or Geno's. If you're only choosing those two, Geno's knocks Pat's any day of the week. But most Philadelphians will tell you, I don't even want to go to Steve's, King of Steaks, or anything like that. Take me to the Works. Take me to the mom and pop deli. They make the best fucking cheesesteaks.
Oh,
Philly.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. That's
fuck these name brand things. Yeah.
That's one thing I've always loved about the South is that down there, you talking breakfast food down like in Tennessee and shit. You go into some of the ugliest looking, nastiest looking diner and get the best breakfast you ever had in your fucking life in there.
Tennessee's known for breakfast food, and their meth labs are divine.
But perfect. Yeah, you could go into the most rundown meth lab and get some of the best shit you can find. It's great.
They give you a complimentary plate of biscuits and gravy.
Yep, if you want good breakfast food and good meth, head to Tennessee. You are in for a treat, my friends. Woo!
Hey, Colin.
With every gram deserves a free pizza.
There you go, Colin. Now you know how to get more business in your restaurant.
Right.
Well, speaking of bad pizza, let's head to North Carolina. Nature works in mysterious ways. A weird blob washed up on a North Carolina beach left experts and viewers puzzled, as Fox 8 reported. Cape Lookout National Seashore shared a Facebook photo of the unidentified blob Tuesday afternoon. Wow, it looks like a few pairs of gloves that had something laying eggs on it.
Oh, I saw this thing. It's gross.
Yeah, that's weird. They said they identified it. It is an egg mass of a squid, or actually the eggs of many squids, as they lay their eggs together to create the mass. The Facebook, some expert said on Facebook, apparently. Who said it? The National Park Service.
Oh, okay.
These squid are an inshore squid species which belongs to the same scientific family, which name I'm not reading, as the California market squid of the Pacific coast.
The market squid?
The market squid. I guess you get the best price in the market squid.
Is that in the same relation as the grandmother in yoga pants and fucking hot curlers still in her hair walking around the flea market?
Yeah, the shit you see at Walmart. You run into a market squid at Walmart from time to time. And they all lay similar looking egg masses. Oh. Sometimes you'll come across those in Walmart too. I go to a different aisle. I just
clean up in aisle 5.
Yeah, report it to an employee. Do you want to see the mask? Should we show you? Should I show you my ass?
Yeah, let's see the mask. Let's see if we get a copyright strike on YouTube for showing like sexual content.
Right. It's just a blob of shit. It's kind of different. I don't. It's not all that exciting, but yeah, if you came across that on a beach, you definitely have some questions.
Well, I
Not
did.
even. I would just walk over and keep
Number.
moving.
Yep. I'd blame it on humans, all the trash we throw in the ocean. There it is. It's all washing up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see anything there that would have made me go, huh, what is that?
Yeah.
I would have just stepped over it and kept going, thinking
Well,
it was,
I guess it depends on how large it is.
I
Because
guess.
the picture may not do it justice. This thing may be 10 foot wide, and you're looking at it going, "Holy shit!" You know,
Right, that reminds
there
me-
may be like a VW Beetle hidden underneath all that washed up with it.
Poor Bumblebee.
Well, there's a similar story out there floating around right now about whale spittle or something, like a big clog of stuff that whales cough up every once in
Oh,
a
the
while.
ambergris.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff they make all kinds of oils and different.
Yeah, you get a hold of that. That stuff's worth some money.
Yeah, it's like this whale phlegm that they cough up, and then it floats up, and they find it on the beach. And apparently, over in Japan, somebody found one recently. Was like freaking, it's huge. It's worth like $700,000 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
One
something crazy.
cosmetic
Something crazy.
Yeah, they make cosmetics out of that shit.
Looks like
Oh.
I'm going to be going to the beach here very soon and stepping over all the
Yeah,
horseshoe
buddy.
crab and dead fucking jellyfish to find some fucking whale spunk.
Yeah, well, you just
Yeah.
need to go swimming and just stick your finger down some whale throats and see if they cough up any ambergris for you.
Do bulimic whales swim around the Atlantic Ocean?
Yeah, just swimming around thinking, God, I'm so disgustingly fat.
That is an anorexic sperm whale right there, folks.
Yeah,
Icy blows.
don't do that with a sperm whale. You'll get something else. It's
There she blows for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
she a mean
All
girl, but she spits, she don't swallow.
Over the beach.
It's probably not a good idea to snort anything on an airplane. An airplane passenger is reportedly facing serious charges after he was spotted snorting a white substance on a flight, refusing to wear a mask because you wouldn't be able to snort your Coke if you're wearing a mask, and acted aggressively toward other passengers and crew member. His behavior apparently forced the flight to divert its course and land in an airport prior to reaching its destination. The incident occurred on a JetBlue flight from New York to San Francisco on Sunday, ABC 7 reports. The passenger in question was allegedly spotted carrying a bag full of white substance, which he snorted from.
Well, fuck it, man. I mean, you can go to a restaurant and you have to wear the mask until you sit in the booth, and then you know the waitress and everybody else around you. Doesn't matter. You can take off your mask and handle your meal. I mean, this guy's got a legitimate claim. He's sitting in his seat. He takes his mask off to do some snorting. He's not hurting anybody. Coronavirus leaves you alone when you're busy engaging in something, right?
Yeah, Coke will kill the corona anyway.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
He also reportedly made aggressive stabbing motions toward other passengers, yelled racist slurs, and made inappropriate comments to female passengers. While he reportedly refused to wear a mask, he was also spotted not wearing shoes as he walked up and down the aisle. This guy just made himself at home. It's JetBlue. They fly the friendly, fucking coked up skies.
He did all this with a $100 bill still rolled up, stuck in his nose.
Yeah, he should have been on JetBlue.
It just sounds like a description of Trump on a plane.
Sounds like a Tuesday on the Epstein Express. That's
You're on the right track.
Yeah, I just think the economy's bad. Everything crashed. He lost his private jet, so he's got to fly commercial again. And
hey,
he's just doing what he's used to doing.
Hey, the economy may be bad and fucking inflation is up, but apparently that shit was good enough for him to fucking cause a scene.
Oh yeah.
So if you're bored, take a flight with cokeheads.
Right. If he's got that much cocaine, he's walking around acting like that. I don't think the economy's affecting him all that much.
No, not at all. That stimulus package is really going to stimulating him. Though.
Right.
Where his stimulus went, right up his nose.
Yep, he spent his stimulus on stimulants.
He was. I don't
All
know.
right.
Worst part of me isn't him snorting up, isn't getting violent, isn't the $100 bill stuck in his nose. None of that is the worst part to me. The worst part to me is your nasty ass feet are walking around in that dirty ass plane.
Oh yeah,
That's worse than coronavirus right there. You're like spreading the fucking toe jam plague.
Well, yeah. How many of those people got on a plane and they stepped a dog crap earlier that day, you know?
Right.
Exactly. At least half of them.
I
And
think,
he's in there licking his toes. It's all
yeah.
poked up.
Jesus, arrest him on that. And while you're at it, get the other asshole that's wearing socks with sandals. Get him too.
There
Yeah.
you go. Australia's oldest ever man has included. Where the hell? Why is it popping up ads on me? Stop popping up ads, you sons of bitches. I don't care about your paste pecani sauce. Australia's oldest ever man has included eating chicken brains among his secrets to living more than 111 years. Retired cattle rancher Dexter Kruger on Monday marked 124 days since he turned 111. A day older than the World War I veteran Jack Lockett when he died in 2002. Kruger told Australia Broadcasting Corporation in an interview at his nursing home in rural Queensland state town of Roma, days before the milestone, that a weekly poultry delicacy has contributed to his longevity. Chicken brains, chickens have a. He's 111 years old. Let's bear with him here. Chicken brains. Chickens have a head, and in there's a brain, and they are delicious little things, Kruger said. There's only one little bite.
Oh. This dude's a serial killer. He was born and bred a serial killer. First off, he's from Australia. Second off, with a name like Dexter Kruger, that is two fucking.
That is two serious killers right there.
Cousin.
And then he's talking about
Brady's cousin.
Then he's talking about taking tiny bites out of people's cocks. No.
Yes, yeah, just the head.
Just the head.
They got tiny little heads.
Just the tip.
He just takes the tip of your cock and sucks the brain out.
Right through the nostril. Is it kind of like when you go to a seafood restaurant and you order crabs and they give you all like the little utensils to crack and all that? He's got the little fucking nose pick.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but he's got the little pick and the little cracker. That way, he's just a little cracker.
I don't know, man. That sounds like the same category as crayfish. I mean, that's a little tiny chunk of meat to go all through all that work for.
That's true.
You have to have a lot of
crayfish, just like we're talking about. You suck the head and you're done.
Yep.
I'm not into head. You guys are. I'm out on that one. I don't need no head.
Look, I ain't all about the head. All I'm saying is that when it comes to crayfish, if I'm sucking, I'm swallowing.
Well, there you go. Stolle will suck a crayfish off.
Unlike a whale in the ocean who spits it back out.
Right. Just the sperm whales.
If you're hungry, there's always chicken brain.
Chicken brain. There you go. But you know what? That's not really unheard of to me. I don't know about 111 years old, longevity from the thing. But like my grandparents used to fucking eat all the fucking gizzards and shit from chickens.
Oh, yeah.
Giblets.
The giblets, yeah. The fucking heart, the fucking lungs, the liver, whatever.
Livers, yeah. We used to feed them to the cat.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not unheard of for.
I love some good fried chicken livers.
Send them to Don.
Yeah, haven't had them in a while, but yeah, I love some good fried chicken livers.
He wants
when you try them chicken brains. You got to try them chicken brains, Don. Let us know what they're like.
I've probably eaten it before. I mean, I wouldn't grab the chicken, suck it right out of the head, but I've eaten brain. If it's properly prepared, it's all right. I've eaten cow brain.
What about the other end of the cow? Have you had the Rocky Mountain oysters?
I don't know that I have for sure. I can't say they haven't been sneaked on my plate a time or two. I'd try anything. Hell, the last week I ate alligator, antelope, and buffalo.
Alligator's good. So
alligator is pretty good. Yes.
Did you ever eat frog?
Of course.
Yeah, you put one leg on this ear and one leg on this ear.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Ribbit, my friend.
Yep.
What's long, green, and smells like pork? Kermit's finger.
For centuries, people have speculated about the age and meaning of the giant hewn into the hillside. Many theories have surrounded the giants. Let's see, is that the beginning of the story? No, it isn't. They for some reason, an ad jumped in and covered that shit up. Unraveling the mystery behind a very erect giant carved into a hillside has been hard. But a recent discovery is hopefully leading scientists closer to the naked truth. The cartoonish ancient figure known as Cerne Abbas Giant is sculpted into the chalk hillside of the Cerne Abbas in Dorset, England. I don't know, Abbas, I have no idea. Basically, it's big, it's holding a club, and it's got a phenomenal phallus. For centuries, people have speculated about the age and meaning of the giant hewn into the hillside. Many theories have surrounded the giant's identity and origins, including ancient symbol of spirituality, likeness of the Greco-Roman hero Hercules with a big dick, mockery of Oliver Cromwell and the fertility aid. The National Trust writes about the figure. There's even a theory that the figure was carved around the body of an actual giant who was slain by local townspeople.
And he was excited about it.
Apparently. In July 2020, the BBC reports that scientists have extracted soil samples from the from the giant's junk, soil samples from the giant to determine its age, but the results were delayed due to the coronavirus pandemic. However, the scientists did find microscopic snails in the sediment samples, which included species that were introduced into Britain in the medieval period, meaning the giant is unlikely to be prehistoric. We got to have a picture. We got to share the giant.
The giant. If you have an erection that lasts more than 4 hours.
Yep, and I mean the club is kind of just extra at that point. He's walking around with 2 clubs, only holding one of them.
That is such a bad drawing.
It is. That was a fraternity prank.
Yeah.
I don't remember posing for that.
Yeah. Why did they chop my hair off?
Yeah. I mean, other than the penis erect, it reminds me of my ex-girlfriend, angry with a club.
Yeah, and bald.
And bald.
Well, you said it, not me.
Well, I don't know your ex-girlfriend. For all I know, she might have had the big penis too. I'm not sure.
She might have. Like Colin walks funny.
She had the attitude, man.
Well, she had you pegged.
Yeah.
You knew that was coming out there. That's just the way we are.
Colin, honey, are you
with a penis like
good pogo? Let's get bouncing.
All right, let's see if I have any more interesting. We may end it there, but we'll let's see. Okay, we'll go back to Florida to end it off. See if this is exciting. Residents of a Florida home had an unusual start to their day when a large chunk of ice fell out of the sky and punched a hole in their roof. This happens all the time. This is bathroom release from an airplane. The Martin County Sheriff's Office said the chunk fell out of the sky Wednesday morning and punched a large hole through the roof near the edge of the Palm City home, causing the ice to land on the ground outside the house rather than inside. It poked a hole through the roof, but it decided it wasn't going to go inside.
Hey.
That's kind of different.
Again, I want to know if it's blue because, like you said, with the airplane thing,
right? Boeing bombs. That's what. The sheriff's office said there were no reports of injuries from the ice chunk's plunge. Deputies said they do not yet have an explanation for where the ice chunk came from. Really? Did you not watch Joe Dirt? That's actually the end of that article. Like they just left it there. Like the cops just showed up and went, I don't know, and headed on out. What are we going to tell them? I don't know. It's ice fell from somewhere.
Some pilot at 30,000 feet opens up the window and dumps out his slushy, and it just hardens on the way down.
Yeah, there you go. See, I always figure stuff like that. There's a neighbor somewhere that's pissed off at him that's launching chunks of ice over there.
Yeah, you know.
Could
That,
be.
that pisses me off. It doesn't give any explanation.
Yeah. It's just, well, it's Florida, so they figure it's not the strangest thing that's happened. There was a not fully unclothed person going 110 miles an hour earlier. So,
Well, I don't know. Are they close to the coast? Maybe it was a fucking whale sneeze.
yeah, there you go. It could have been frozen ambergris. Sell that shit.
That's right. 700 grand.
Yeah, put it in your little wagon and pull it around and see what you can get out of it, Joe Dirt. You're good. That's it. See the peanut? That's dead giveaway. And that is what we have for the news buffet. So thanks for joining us for another filled episode. I would say fun filled, but it was just filled. It was filled with something. I don't know.
Something slimy.
Filled with definitely something slimy between ambergris and giant squid egg pods.
Giant with a club.
And mostly
big dick. That's
and mostly naked women driving through Florida.
not mostly naked, not fully unclothed.
Not fully clothed women through Florida.
Yeah. Which is impressive if you can get to not fully unclothed state while driving 110 miles per hour and eluding the police.
Oh, come on. I'm in the not fully unclothed state right now on a podcast.
Exactly. Well, same here. All I got to do is flip this foot and you'll see my underwear go flying. That's
I'm not the only one here wearing pants.
Why are you wearing pants? It's Sunday. Who really cares?
Colin, you're the only one with your camera off. Oh, Lord.
All right, I am wearing pants. I swear, I really am. There we go, right here.
All right.
Maybe he is the drawing from England.
Could be. I mean, more power to you.
I don't remember posing for it, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, it was just one time I was drunk. It was this not fully unclothed woman next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody captured my likeness on a hillside in England. So.
Oh, good Lord.
These things happen. Out of my control, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and get the positivity out of the way because I don't really have anything for after hours. So let's see. Last week, Colin, your segment actually led into an after hours conversation. Let's see if we can make a lightning strike twice.
All right. Well, my computer just I don't know, it like freezed up on me and it's restarting itself, so I don't have any of my stuff available right now. But one thing I did see, apparently somewhere, if you look at today.com, there's a story about a cat that somehow fell out of a window. I was just starting to read it and it turned off on me, but apparently this cat fell 5 stories and it landed and walked away. So that's a pretty lucky cat.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was pretty positive, at least for the cat. He only wasted 1 life on that, I think.
Nah.
Yeah, I actually, one of my news sites has it up here.
Yeah.
So yeah, a black cat had the luckiest moment of her 9 lives this week when she leaped from the 5th floor of a burning building in Chicago. The kitty jumped with a meow, literally landed on her feet, and then after a little hop, scurried off.
Jeez.
Right. So I saw that. That was kind of positive, you know. And then there was something else about a surgery they did on the eye of the tiger. Apparently, a tiger had some kind of a problem with his eye, and a veterinarian that actually was able to save his eye or something, saved the eye of the tiger.
Yeah, well, Stolle's in Philadelphia. That ought to hit close to home.
I'm already thinking that I should look up Farner right now.
Save the eye of the tiger. I mean, Rocky would be amused.
Yeah, after seeing Rocky 5 and then the Rocky Balboa, I'd say that they definitely need to do some work on the eye of the tiger because those last couple movies were shit.
Yeah. So then another thing that I saw was apparently today I can't remember the name of the photographer, but it was one of those little side notes of a page I was looking at that apparently today in history was the day that the first album cover for Nirvana, Nevermind, was photographed. The little baby in the pool, the little wiener hanging down. Yeah, yeah. Today that photograph in history. Today that is the day it was photographed. Anniversary.
It's fitting while you were reading about the Nevermind cover that I have Foreigner playing from the last article you were reading from.
Ah,
So now for the next story, I got to get Nirvana up. No,
Yeah.
I feel bad for that kid that posed for that picture. I've got to be honest, because for his whole entire life, yes, of course, it's the honor of I was the kid on the cover of Nirvana, but everybody got to see my little Winky in that picture.
yeah. And his response is, "It was cold that day."
Yeah.
Yep, I was in the pool.
Yeah, like George Costanza.
I
Exactly.
was
It
in
was
the
cold that day.
pool.
Yeah.
Yep, it's grown since then, I swear.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't imagine being that guy because then you got to explain, well, yeah, how cold it was, you know. But imagine being associated with that your whole life. Like, yeah, he's the kid from the Nirvana album. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that was me. You know, how embarrassing would that be? Everywhere you go.
I'm actually still shocked in 1994 that album cover was actually able to pass. You figure during the late 80s and early 90s, like censorship was so hard on it that you know, albums like Poison's Open Up and Say Ah, they censored it because the girl's tongue was too long, but the baby's penis was okay.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, because that's more family oriented or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they must have associated it with all those statues that got all over Europe with got people's junk hanging out and tits and ass hanging everywhere because they don't care if they're naked in those countries.
Right.
They
Right.
explained it off as a flotation device.
So there you go. Inflatable one.
Which, you know, I've seen some of those statues and pictures of those statues over there with the naked guys, and
Feel better.
if I were them, I don't think I'd want anybody to make a statue of that. It's not impressive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you feel better.
It's not
right?
like that giant on the hill they did a picture of.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
David was not a big dude.
No, he wasn't. David did not have Goliath in his pants.
Right.
Oh, geez.
They explained why they use fig leaves.
Yeah. Well, speaking of giants, though, that's been an ongoing discussion between me and a bunch of my friends because, well, I worked on the pipeline at one point, and I worked at a town called Moundsville in West Virginia, and of course, Stolle, you're probably familiar. It's right near the border there. Well, they've got this huge burial mound in the middle of the town that took 20,000 tons of earth to build that thing, and they found 7-foot skeletons inside of it. So the only thing they could figure is that they must have attributed them to be very powerful or very important because they made this big mound for these very tall people.
Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing impressive. That was just the last U.S. Olympic basketball team. That's where they went.
Oh, before they moved to Mexico. And now they all jumped the fence to get back over here. That's why there's no Olympics in Mexico. They can jump and swim. They're already here.
Best runners, jumpers, and swimmers are already here.
Well,
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. So that Moundsville was cool because there was all these burial mounds all over the place that the locals told me about when I questioned. And they were like, yeah, there's burial mounds all over the place. Farmers been dumping them over and squashing them down for years for crops and stuff. And if you study this type of thing, you'll find that most Indian tribes across the nation will tell you that the burial mounds you see that are protected under their name were there before they showed up. They didn't exist. It's not their tribe. They were pre-existing. And my theory is that if there's a giant on the ground somewhere and you guys killed it, you're not going to drag him off, dig a hole to put him in. You're just going to bury him right where he is because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
right.
You know, so that's why I think all the burial mounds are there. And then if you're a giant person, what were you going to do? You're going to find a place to hide out so you could be left alone, right? Well, there's all kinds of hills all over West Virginia, up and down, up in the meadow or down in the holler. That's the way they saw that. That's the way they say it down there. So, and I was surveying, right? So I had to sign the fine print on this contract when I started the job, and it said, yeah, you're not allowed to divulge any locations of pump stations, wells, pressurized stations, bends in the pipe, relief valves, anything like that, or anything found on the property. And I thought, why would they put that in there? And then I thought, boom. Oh, Moundsville. There's burial mounds over the place.
Mhm.
They don't want Smithsonian getting wind of, oh, they found these bones over here or something. They don't want you telling anybody because they want to put the
because
ground
then,
back together and move on.
then they'll have to stop. They'll have to
It
stop
costs them
every
money.
single thing they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of archaic
Yeah.
artifacts of
Yeah.
things, one
For the
thing
Smithsonian to come and investigate.
I did want to talk about this. It's not exactly a funny thing, but I know in this group we'll figure out a way of making it funny. Prince Harry, or the one that's married to Meghan Markle.
Oh, the one that renounced his princehood that came over to discuss racism with other multi-billionaires.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one, William or Harry.
to talk about how oppressed they've been. Sorry.
Well, the story had come out about his mother, Princess Diana, and how like that BBC reporter who got that exclusive bombshell interview with her
Right.
back in the day, and it turns out he lied to get her to even go on the show and stuff like that. So it pulls into question the stuff like that, and of course the prince is taking umbrage to it, and I would agree with him in 100% on that, because it fucked up his mother and his memory of his mother and stuff like that. So I absolutely agree on that. But the thing that pisses me off is not even a couple days beforehand, this asshole is going on podcasts talking about the American First Amendment is bonkers, in his words. He doesn't fully understand or agree with the concept of the American First Amendment. This coming from the guy who has been going on a tour on Oprah Winfrey's show and everything else, expressing his First Amendment rights to tell all of us that we're racist and fucking shit like that, and dogging his own family over across the pond. But in the same breath, he's turning around and saying that we shouldn't have the right to speak our opinion, especially when it's concerned to him and his wife.
Well, maybe he got to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, Prince Harry can go eat a dick. I don't care. The whole royal family doesn't mean shit to me, and neither does the royal family that decided they're not royal family anymore. I mean, when they first came over here and they started all that big shit about it, it's like, why the fuck have I been hearing about the goddamn royal family for 2 weeks? We don't have a royal family. We could have, but we said, fuck off, get out.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I don't really care what they do.
Well,
Right. Well,
that's
that's
exactly it. Yeah. Go ahead, Colin.
it's their problem. They want to be over
Right.
there and be like, oh, royalty or not royalty, royal blood. You know what? Nobody cares about your royal blood. You sent people over to my side of the world, where all of my family, my ancestors were native. You brought us smallpox. Well, guess what? We survived that shit. And now I don't need no COVID-19 vaccine or jack, because you know what? My immune system works great. And now on top of that, now I'm seeing that people in Congress and stuff, like, I don't remember who it was, but I saw a video earlier. One of our representatives was bitching, saying that Nancy Pelosi's out of line, tried to say, oh, well, we all want everybody to wear masks in session. And she's like, no. And they gave her a warning. Well, she showed it on video, taking the warning, the paper, and putting it right in the shredder.
Well, the reason people are upset about Nancy Pelosi with that shit is because she hit a Republican candidate, I don't remember who, representative, where he was attacking her on a completely different topic and policy in Congress, and his mask kept slipping. He wasn't not wearing it, but it kept slipping off his nose, and she kept interrupting his point and everything else about that mask, to the point that she turned around and fined him $500 for not wearing the mask properly in Senate. So, I mean, if people are attacking her for the mask mandates after she fucking did that to, somebody across the aisle, world's smallest violin.
If there was ever a place where you shouldn't be allowed masks, where the people that enter into those halls should be, forced to circulate amongst all the shit that's spraying out of their mouth, it should be the fucking halls of Congress. They should all have to just bathe in each other's spittle and garbage, because that's all that comes out of them, and ain't none of them worth a shit.
No,
I feel about Congress about the same way I feel about the royal fucking family right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're all together, right? They're all uppity, big, wealthy mofos. And they don't really associate with anybody but themselves. you know, in
Oh,
each
yeah.
other.
They're completely
So
out of
if
touch and
one of
have
them
been
gets
for a
sick-
long time.
if one of them gets sick and they ain't got enough brains to know that they're sick and stay the hell home or wear a mask or whatever, that's on them. I mean, everybody else should be like, hey, why aren't you in a mask? You're coughing. Get the fuck out of here. You know, if you don't have enough brains to figure it out, you know,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
here's
think
the same indifference.
fines.
Here's the same indifference, and I was thinking about this the other day, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong if you don't like this point of view, but you know, you've got two people in this world right now. Those that are absolutely, you know, dog blinded going to get the vaccination because, you know, they believe it works. And the
Greatest thing.
CDC and the government and everything else says, well, once you have the vaccination, you don't have to wear masks anymore. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You're fully vaccinated. You're protected from it. If you're so fucking protected from it, then what does it matter if I don't get it? If
Right.
I don't get the fucking vaccine, I'm not going to give it to you. The only person I'm going to give it to is another motherfucker like me who believes it's bullshit anyway. So it's our problem to deal with. So what is the big fucking deal? Take
Right.
the mask. If it's safe to take the masks away, take the fucking masks away. Those that are vaccination deniers, which I may not be into the vaccination, but I am not a denier. I just don't
Right.
trust how fast they came out. It has nothing to do with denying or anything else. It's just I don't trust the science behind it because of how quick it came out. That
Right.
being
That's how I
said,
feel too. Yeah,
that
like
being said, though, that's my fucking choice because it's, you know,
Right.
let me be an abortionist, a pro-lifer for a minute. It's my body, my fucking choice. If
Yeah.
there's no danger to you who got vaccinated of getting the coronavirus, then it shouldn't fucking matter that I didn't get it, but I still don't wear a mask either. Because the only
Right.
person I'm endangering is me.
right. And the people, maybe the people that are close to you, but if you know if you're sick or not, most people are enough sense to know, oh, I'm sick. Maybe I shouldn't be coughing on people or be around people. Maybe I should stay home. You
Right.
know,
Oh.
most people I would hope have enough common sense to understand that. It's the idiots out there that we're worried about because they might cough on like grandma or something. You know, but if somebody's really that worried about this thing, then go get the vaccine if you're a chicken shit and you're worried about it and it's that, oh no, I'm going to get this virus, you know, or if you got bad health issues or whatever and you're worried that your immune system won't handle it, go get the vaccine. But don't give anybody else shit because they don't need it and they're not afraid of this shit. You know,
Well,
It's
that and again, jump into conclusions. Myself, I don't want to get the vaccination until there's more testing done. You can tell me the long-term effects of the drug that you're pumping into my system. I'm not worried about whether it works on blocking coronavirus or not. I'm worried about the strange fucking cancer I'm going to develop 20 years later that they did not foresee because they didn't test this goddamn vaccine beforehand.
right, right. Well, what was the flu vaccine? Took like fucking 10 years or something before they finally got it figured out and got it distributed because of all the testing.
Oh,
You
guess
know,
I never take the flu shot either. I'm paying
Right.
you 40, 50 fucking dollars to give me the flu to build an immunity so I don't get the flu. Why don't I just
Right.
get the flu and build the immunity that way and save $40? Fuck you.
Right, because if you've got a good immune system and you get hit with the coronavirus, your immune system is going to handle it. And then your immune system is stronger and ready for it. So if it comes at you again, sorry, Corona, we got your number. We learned what you're about. You ain't getting in my body.
Well, it's just so weird that people are making such a big deal out of this. And I know it's a broken record that's been said for the last year and a half, but we are going out of our minds judging people on whether they do or do not get vaccines and everything else. And the coronavirus, which has long since flattened its curve, you know, I mean, fuck, last week, Texas reported 0 deaths of corona, 0, the first 0 since this shit came out.
Right.
But we're talking about a virus that, even as high as the numbers were, we're talking about a virus that has a 99% survival rate.
Yep.
We didn't go this bad with swine flu. We didn't go this bad with, what was it, H1N1, whatever the fuck it was, which had crazy higher mortality rates. We didn't mask up. We didn't shut down. We didn't fucking vaccinate. But we're
Right.
going absolutely bonkers, batshit crazy over a virus that has a 99% survival rate.
Yeah, it's sad that that's happening, you know. I mean, but on the bright side, at least some states are actually, you know, lightening up on this stuff and they're not enforcing the masks anymore, you know, and it seems like a lot of people, businesses are reopening and things like that. So that's some good positive stuff. My parents went to Florida for 10 days 2 weeks ago. And while they were there, they saw some good sights. They saw the one bartender by herself doing taking care of 60 seats in a bar by herself, a little bartender. and it was just beer and wine, but she was hoofing it, you know.
I
So
bet
if you,
good tip too.
yeah, oh, I bet she got tipped well because she's by herself busting it, you know. So it's one of the things, if you're out there and you see what's going on, especially because they went to Florida, because I have relatives there. Hopefully they're not half naked or partially clothed or whatnot, but
Yeah.
they might be awesome. So anyway, they had a good time down there, and they got to see that the economy is still moving forward in Florida. You know, there's some of the places are closed down because they don't have enough help, is the problem there. Where nobody wants to go back to work. Everybody wants to sit on their butts and get this unemployment. And apparently they're talking in Congress now about signing things that might give us a monthly stimulus of some sort.
Well, that was something I was going to ask you. With what's going on now, and especially with you, you know, you work a family business. Don works at a hospital, and because of Corona, which cost me my job at Mayfair Fence, where I was a fence installer, that I finally turned around and you know, I got up on the fucking bull and decided let's see if I could do this, and I started opening my own handyman business within the local area. I finally decided to fucking, you know, let either shit or get off the pot. Let's do it. Corona gave me the opportunity to do that because of the fact that, like, if I was still working at Mayfair or whatever, I wouldn't do this. But
You wouldn't have time.
the jobs aren't there right now. But it does wrangle a question. Jen and I, a couple days ago, received a letter in the mail from the federal government saying that if you receive this letter, that you're getting another stimulus check of $1,400 within 5 to 7 business days. That was very much a shock to me because that showed up even before there was talk of another stimulus package in the works. As far as what I've seen on, like,
how long ago did you get this?
I want to say at least a week ago.
Okay, because I got one a while ago, and it's like, well, I wasn't expecting another one. I haven't seen another one.
Yeah, I haven't gotten.
I thought it was.
Letter.
I thought it was just a very slow-moving letter that they sent out before the last $1,400 one we got.
Well,
Right. I received my letter after the fact.
If you remember, the last 1,400 was still under Donald Trump. The letter, if you paid attention to the letter, is Joe Biden. So this would be the first stimulus check under Joe Biden.
Right, which was back in January, February time. So you could have just gotten it after. I mean, did you receive the stimulus yet, or did you just get you never got the 14?
I got the 14, but I got the 14 under Donald Trump.
Oh, and the letter says something different. Wow,
Yeah.
Well, maybe you lucked up. Maybe you get another 1,400.
Who knows? But my question still was standing. With all these stimulus checks and passing out these stimulus checks and these extensions on unemployment, not mine, by the way, on unemployment and everything else, they didn't give me the extension. They cut me off 3 weeks ago. With all these things going on, yet there is an abundance of jobs, yet I've gone out job searching. I've put in applications and everything else. These places that claim they're fucking interviewing on the spot or whatever else. Maybe I'm just a shit interview or whatever else, but I haven't gotten dick out of it. Is there, in your guys' opinion, is there a way we get this economy where people get jobs back by simply stop feeding the beast, in a sense, stop the stimulus checks, stop the extended unemployment, and force these fuckers to go back to work?
Right. There are states that are going to put in laws that deny that their state will not acknowledge this and that they want people to go back to work, and they're canceling the idea, like, no, we're not going to distribute monies anymore for bonus unemployment. There's some states that are actually buckling down on that and getting together and being like, no, we want people to go back to work. We don't want to keep giving them unemployment. They need to stop getting unemployment. There is a movement in that direction now, which is a good thing because people need to go back to work.
Right.
But then you got to look at the business end of it too, where now we're looking at all these big businesses like what is it? Chipotle apparently is trying to raise their minimum wage to $15 an hour. And a lot of other companies are too, like different Walmarts and Myers and whatever big businesses.
Walmart could suck a dick, dude. I was at Walmart Saturday, and the Walmart I was at, they had a bunch of employees milling around doing nothing. And the cashier stations, they had, I counted because I had to use the restroom. I counted there was 24 stations that could be manned, and then 4 do-it-yourself stations and and then 6 more of the express do-it-yourself stations. Okay. Out of 24 registers that could be manned by a person, 2 were open.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck you and your $15 an hour. You have not shown me that you deserve that goddamn money. You don't do anything.
Right. Well, the thing is, the people that want to push this $15 an hour are the ones that are ordering all the products from China that are made from that little Chinaman for a bag of rice a day. So they're making buku profits because they're buying pallets and pallets and pallets, filling up whole warehouses full of these products, and they can afford it because they buy in bulk. So they make the best profit margin. So they can afford to shell out whatever minimum wage that they want to,
They're not going to. It's going to. The problem with raising minimum wage that nobody ever wants to address is the business owners, the corporates, or whatever else. You think they're just going to take it on the chin, pay the money out, and that'll be it? No, it's going to trickle down to the consumer, and it's also going to trickle down to the employee. And this is how. We've already seen the inflation prices of things like gasoline. We've already seen the inflation of prices of things like milk and eggs and fucking lumber and everything else. That's the first step. The second step, McDonald's has already fucking done it. Giant has already done it. They start cutting back on employees and incorporating things like automated teller systems.
Yes.
Which are cheaper to maintain than having a $15 an hour employee for part-time. You created your own replacement, you fucking morons, instead of going out and getting a different job.
Right, because they think it's okay to live on minimum wage. That's an entry wage. That's wage for people in high school that are entering the work field, and they need to learn work ethics, and they need to learn to show up on time and to do their job properly. And that's what minimum wage is for. It's not for people to get a minimum wage job and live on that wage forever. You're supposed to do the stepping stone and go to college and get a better job.
Here's the thing. Let's use McDonald's as an example. There are 2 types of people that work at McDonald's. Okay. Well, 3 types of people, because there's the ones we're talking about right now, which are just, they think it's a career flipping burgers and working part-time. So they deserve a living wage because that's it. But no, in reality, there are 2 types of McDonald's employees, or fast food in general employees. The first is the same person as all of us, who our first job or our fallback job when we wound up on hard times was going there and working for a couple months till something better comes along.
Right.
Stepping stone job. That's what it is. The only other person that ever sticks it out, works their ass off, becomes a manager, and then buys a fucking franchise and becomes a boss.
Right.
They don't stay as a cashier or a burger flipper. They work their ass off within the system, within the company, gain the raises and gain the notoriety and work up the corporate ladder.
They work their way up. That's right. That's how it's supposed to work.
If you want McDonald's to be a career and have a livable wage, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. Not to just expect minimum wage to go up and I'll be fine. They'll raise it again. They don't realize that they're also raising the price of milk and the price of bread, because the baker and the milkman, they both got employees that they pay minimum wage. They're not going to absorb that shit. They're not going to take a hit on their profit margin. No, every single manufacturer across the globe is going to see, oh, America's going to give more money to their stupid fucking people. Well, guess what? Let's gouge them with prices now and fuck everybody. Ha ha. That's all that's going to happen. China's going to get richer, and the big CEOs that buy all the products in China, they're going to make money like mad. You know what? And on top of that, it gives them more to tax on your paycheck.
Oh yeah. And Philadelphia's got a weird, I don't know if you guys have this, but I'm going to have to deal with this even with my new contracting business. Philadelphia will, obviously, I'm going to be 1099 at the end of the year, which means I'm going to have to pay the city and state tax and the federal tax and all that shit at the end of the year. But Philadelphia will get me if I work outside of the city. If I go to Bensalem, or if I go to Bucks County, or if I go to fucking Montgomery County, which are the 2 closest counties outside of Philadelphia, and do a job, say I go install a toilet in Montgomery County, they will not only tax me for city and state, Montgomery will tax me, which they should because I worked in their county, but then Philly will penalize me for working outside of Philly and tax me again.
The local taxes are always the fucking worst. That people always complain about federal and state. No, local taxes are the worst motherfuckers to deal with across the board, especially if you're a small business owner. You're screwed.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck you every way they can.
Right. Now, see, in our business, it's a little bit different because we understand that there's going to be raises in unemployment. But I mean, I'm in the kitchen, right? And I've been doing this for a long time. And so I deserve my wage. So does my co-partners in the kitchen. They earned them wages. They earned their raises over the time that they worked for us, and they deserve that. Now, what do they do then? The new guy who just walked in as a new dishwasher, he's brand new, doesn't know nothing, and we're giving him $15 an hour. I'm like, are we stupid or something? And then on top of that, we've got an ad going on Michigan Works to get people to come and apply for different kitchen positions and a waitress job, and nobody's applying. The only ones that are applying are they don't have any experience. So we're like, we gotta have somebody with some experience, and we're not getting very good applicants. It's just because everybody's being lazy, and there's that conflict too. Is like, yeah, there's lots of jobs, but nobody wants to work. And then on top of that, we know that they're probably going to raise this minimum wage. And you think that lumber inflation is going to help? No, because then they're going to say, oh, I can't afford a piece of lumber. It's like I work an hour, I make less than $15 an hour. It's like $10 a piece for 2x4s now. Since last year at this time, lumber has gone up 278%. So that's pretty significant. And I'm just hoping that down, but they've got to build a stock back up because all the homeowners bought all this lumber and stuff while they were off with the corona scare, and their business was closed or their work was closed, so they had time at home. So they spent all this money buying lumber and remodeling their homes and stuff like that. Well, they depleted the supply because the lumber mills had people that were off work and they weren't mass producing because the construction industry was down. So it's a real confusing situation we're in, but we're just gonna have to ride it out.
Well, no, you're not wrong, but I mean they have already done that. I passed by a McDonald's yesterday that had a big sign up that they were hiring for people starting $13 an hour. Now, I've got 20 years in the contracting field, 20 plus years in the contracting field. The last job I had, Mayfair Fence, when I started for Mayfair Fence, guess how much they paid me with all my experience? $13 an hour.
Holy fuck.
Why does a burger flipper high school dropout single mom deserve more money than me?
I think the question on that is, why does somebody with 20 years construction experience take a job at 13 an hour? Why is there a job offered to somebody with that experience at 13 an hour? Well, that's what's horseshit in that scenario.
That's horseshit in that scenario, but it was me. I'll take what I can get because of the fact I got to pay child support, and arrears was racking up while I'm looking for a job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is $14 an hour is acceptable for an entrance wage in a technical field.
Right. Yeah.
How the fuck is part-time flipping burgers at McDonald's worth that?
Right. Setting up fences is a lot harder work than flipping a burger and putting it in a wrapper. A lot harder. I mean, and there's more images, there's more things you could damage yourself. You could hurt yourself, you could cut your fingers open,
Yeah, one's a skilled trade and one's flipping a fucking burger.
That's my point. If it's acceptable to pay $14 an hour for a skilled trade, even at entry level, then how the fuck can you justify a burger flipper, working part-time for the same, if not more wage?
No.
Right. Well, it's like, no, the lumber mill's got to pay extra overtime, time and a half and stuff like that, and hire anybody they can right now to get back up to where we were with our lumber stock. So we've got enough stocked up so that way we can get back to a decent, because the supply and demand is all screwed up.
Right.
So here we are, we're stuck with it, but they're paying higher wages. So then they're going to pass that on to the consumer, of course. So now we've got higher lumber prices all over the place, and it sucks.
And look what happened with that. The higher lumber wages have put a stop to the construction of new house developments that were in play because they can't afford it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, they got a loan for 50 grand. Oh, well, the lumber went up, so now your house is going to cost 80 grand. Well, fuck, I guess we got to put it on hold till next year now.
Yeah, and there you just lost jobs.
Yeah. So it's screwing everything up.
Yep.
It's like all the construction industry needs to slow down for a little bit and let the lumber industry get back up to snuff and catch up. So that way we can have decent costs. Everybody just needs to boycott buying lumber for a little while.
Yeah.
So we can even this out. That's what we used to do. Remember, we used to do that. The tea bags, tea in it, throwing a tea in the harbor. Remember how we used to do that? I think our country's forgotten this shit.
Well, that's the exact thing. Like, and one of the biggest excuses I always hear from these part timers in the starter jobs is this is the best we can get. This is the best bullshit. You want to put in the effort? Oh, I can't afford college. Go to a trade school. I can't afford it.
College ain't what it used to be, because a lot of people that are working the fast food jobs now have fucking college degrees. They just can't find a job in
some of them
art psychology.
Yeah. Lesbian dance theory.
Get a major that's not something that's something that actually exists in the world.
But there's nothing wrong with a trade school either.
Absolutely not.
I went to Orleans Technical Institute here in Philadelphia. It cost me, I believe, $5,000 to go to this school. Now, I was able to get on a payment plan that I didn't even have to pay until I graduated, and they helped me find a fucking job.
Yes, exactly. I went to Rhett's Tech Center, which is now, I can't remember what the hell the name of it is now, but yeah, that's where I went for HVAC. And I will tell you, coming out of a trade school, they're going to lowball the shit out of you.
Oh, of course.
I think I took the highest offer I got coming out of trade school when I went in for HVAC, and that was $11 an hour, and that was about 17 years ago. The only jobs I had other than that were $8.50 and $9 an hour. So I took $11 an hour, went the commercial route. I'm not going to say what I make now, but the last time I had a call for about a job a couple weeks ago, somebody asked what I needed for a salary, and when I told them, they said, "Oh, well, I don't think we're looking for somebody with your qualifications."
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, right. Because you're probably somebody that wants to pay me $15 for 20 years of experience, where I'm not going to take it.
Right. But that's my point. Like, when I came out of even with the low balling, because my first job, I worked for a plumbing company. I made like $8.50 an hour. But again, you're talking over 20 years ago.
Right. But that's one of those things. You stay with it. You get 5 years experience, 10 years experience. You're going to start making good money.
Well, I didn't make good money with the plumbing contractor. What I did get was my journeyman's license. So I was the first maintenance mechanic to come out. They say a maintenance man is a jack of all trades, a master of none.
Oh, yeah.
I came out a jack of no trades, but a journeyman of one.
Yeah.
That was very useful to me in moving up later on. I didn't get the money, but I got more experience and a title out of it. And that was great.
Sometimes
but the point that I was trying to make was, coming out of there. Yeah, I had some student debt coming out of trade school. I was paid off in 6 months.
Right. But you were making better money than McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah, but you got paid better than McDonald's workers did.
Back then, yeah. Now, But the point is, there's no excuse that a McDonald's worker can't go to a trade school, night school for building maintenance, night school for culinary.
They don't want to.
Get on a payment plan. When you come out, they line you up with a job, work that job till you fucking get the experience, pay off your debt, and then fucking move on to better jobs with a better job set.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the thing is, the way a lot of those jobs work now in the trades, if you stay at the same place for more than 5 years, you're screwing yourself. You're screwing yourself over, because they'll pull you in for something and they'll give you a little bit raise increases here and there. I was at a place, the first job I took out of trade school, I was there for 7 years. And they lowballed the shit out of me coming in. I fought to get every pay increase I could. When I left there, the job I started after that, I made $5 more an hour.
Right.
Because if you stay in one place for there's no such thing as employee loyalty anymore. If you stay in one place for more than 4 or 5 years, you're losing money, because you can get brought into someplace else making at least $3 to $4 an hour more.
Right.
And that's how I've managed to get my pay up to where it is.
But there is a catch-22 to that too, because like you said with the employee loyalty, the reason there's no employee loyalty is because employers have started to look at us as expendable instead of an investment. Employers used to look at employees as an investment. I'm going to train you to do this job, and I'm going to make sure that you could take care of your family and your expenses, because in turn you're going to make my life easier in my business. That was the old mentality. Now it's I can get
I can get somebody in at trade school making right out of trade school making half what you
make half what you make,
but they don't realize the experience that's walking out with you and the amount of the learning curve that this kid coming out of trade school is going to have to face. But no, trade school is definitely the way to go, because I got my college degree after. I went to trade school first. I got a job to where I could pay for my fucking college degree because I wanted that degree just as a personal goal.
Right.
I can't make any more money with an English degree than I am currently making as an HVAC tech and plumber and electrician.
Exactly. And that's my point, is that, you know, this excuse, this is the best I could do. I've heard the excuse, well, some people have felonies. You know what? Every fucking construction job site I've ever been on, 3/4 of the fucking people working on building that house or repairing that street have a fucking felony record.
Oh, yeah.
There is no fucking excuse. You can get that job. You just don't want to break your back breaking concrete or fucking carrying.
That's the problem. It's the construction, the trades, they're hard work. They're often dirty work.
Physical
and
work.
People don't want to do them.
Right. Yeah.
That's I've told my nephew. I told my nephew that for years. Get into the trades, because the thing is, and I see this now where I work. I work in hospitals with people with bachelor's and master's degrees in nursing that make less than what I make.
Right.
Right.
Because there are more people with nursing degrees out there than there are people with good construction background and good trade background.
Right. Well, there's less people to get hurt, I guess, but more people to take care of them.
Exactly. And here's the thing about that. And I want to put this in people's heads. I'm going to sound like Mike Rowe a minute, but I'm going to put this in people's heads because they need to fucking hear it. Okay. The dirty jobs, the trade jobs, they are the jobs that will always be here. There will always be a need for a plumber. There will always be a need for an electrician. There will always be a need for a mason. There will always be a need for a landscaper. There will always be a need for a roofer. There will not always be a need for this current coding computer.
You cannot outsource construction and trade jobs.
I mean, you can't. They give it to the illegals. But
that's insource. You have to be physically present.
But you want job security. There's always going to be a need for people who with the skills in those fields, because those fields are how we live.
Right. Yeah. They're human.
My first job out of trade school, I'm not going to mention the name, but it was a basically computer information center. It was a data center. It was a huge fucking data center.
Okay.
And they would let programmers go. They'd go through a spree where they'd fire 90% of their programmers. And then they'd hire them back and pay them less money.
Exactly.
The same programmers would take that pay cut to come back because they know they couldn't do better. And I had one of them tell me once, well, you ought to be concerned about your job too. I was like, dude, I'm going to be here till they turn the lights off. They'll have to send y'all home first. I'm going to see it coming because y'all are going to be out. I'm still going to be here so long as there's any of this equipment running.
Go ahead, Colin. You were about to say something.
Yeah. Well, like there's other parts of this whole situation that we haven't even touched on. Like, okay, let's say in one spot, the minimum wage is set at what, $7.50, right? So you got $7.50 minimum wage and you're getting along, you're paying your employees, and you got a couple that stuck around and they earned a little bit of a raise. So maybe they make $8 an hour, maybe they make $8.50 or $9 because they've been loyal, and the employer was like, yeah, they've been doing good, give them a raise, and they deserved it. Well, all those people can't just get a raise just because the guy on the bottom got $15 an hour.
Right.
Employers can't afford that shit. Maybe the CEOs at Walmart and Myers and shit they can afford that, sure, right? They can afford it because they make the top dollar because they buy everything from China at the cheapest price they can get, and then they exploit us and they say, oh, you're making more money now. We'll just charge you a couple cents more for each doily or each plastic piece of shit that we sell you. And that's not right. But like the small mom and pop businesses, the smaller companies and the smaller manufacturing, the smaller storefronts and things like that, they've only got so much of a profit margin. They don't have that huge profit margin. So when you take that $7.50 or $8 an hour wage that they've been paying their normal employees, they've been
just
loyal,
about double it.
And you just about double it, you're pretty much crushing a lot of businesses in our economy.
Oh yeah.
And how in the hell economists in our country don't see this and aren't talking about this and saying, no, we need to control the wages in China where they're making all this shit. Because those are the people that are making the money, the ones that are owning these companies and these factories in China where they're not paying shit for wages. If we can improve their life and their wage over there and help that, then it'll even out. But right now it's totally unbalanced and they're making all this money because they're shipping it over here from some other place.
Well, I'll tell you this much, and this may shock some people knowing that I'm very conservative by nature. I will agree that it's been quite a long time since there's been an increase in minimum wage. I will agree that minimum wage should be increased, but $13 to $15 an hour, no. I would say at maximum $10 an hour. I would say raise it up a couple dollars so that people who are working, because of inflation, people that are working can still afford the bare minimums. Right. But $13 to $15 an hour, like Colin was just saying, you raised the entry level burger flipper from McDonald's to $15 an hour, making about as much money as somebody with, for argument's sake, 10 years experience in a particular trade. That trade guy is not going to get a raise to compensate his year's experience because you got $15 an hour. Now he's making minimum wage on a job that is
the price of everything goes up. So now the guy that worked his ass off, learned the trade, got up to where he had a decent amount of pay, all of a sudden his money is now worth less than it was before because his buying power has decreased because inflation just drove everything out of control.
Mm-hmm. So
the government just put a bunch of numbers on a screen and gave everybody in the country a whole bunch of money. So the American dollar is worth even less than it was before that. And on top of that, you just got a wage cut because the new guy gets minimum wage and got a raise. I don't see how that's fair at all.
Well, let's educate some people here. You know how the monetary value of the dollar is maintained? It is backed by gold. There is a finite amount of gold.
It used to be. The American dollar is not backed by gold. An American dollar is backed by the belief in the American dollar. That's all it is.
Fair enough, but at the same time, it's still gold. There's still a physical component that keeps the value of our paper, our trade paper, which is
the size of our military.
The size of our military, the trade dollar. So when people say, can't we just print more money? No, because that factor, there is a finite amount of gold in our reserves that back those dollar bills.
Yeah,
and if you make more and more dollar bills.
If you want to see what happens when they print more and more money, just look up Zimbabwe hyperinflation or even Germany hyperinflation after World War II. You'll see exactly what happens when you just start printing more money to pay off your debt. You drive the value of that currency down to not shit. I think at one time in Zimbabwe, hyperinflation was so far out of control that it was like a $10 million bill was worth jack shit.
That's exactly it.
They actually passed a law like knocking 6 zeros off the end of their currency just to make it seem to be a reasonable amount.
Well, I mean,
it was fucking insane.
The same can be said for like Venezuela.
Yeah,
Venezuela was a before the socialist movement came in. Venezuela was one of the richest countries in the world. Their money was worth a fucking fortune. And their economy was booming. And then all of a sudden, when they were just printing money out of control and for all these socialist programs that they were putting into place, now look at what Venezuela is now. I know I'm going to piss people off, but I'm going to use a Trump statement. It is a third world shithole.
Yeah.
Because they crashed their economy by printing money like it was nothing and wound up making their economy worth less than nothing.
Yep.
This is what happens when you give lazy fucktards $15 an hour to flip burgers.
Yep. Backfires.
Or other lazy fucktards that want to sit at home on unemployment and collect fucking stimulus checks. You are creating the fucking problem that will never be repaired until people get off their ass and get back to work.
Right, right. Well, that's the thing. Let's say you had an island, right? Like off the coast of Florida with the Keys or maybe Honolulu or something. Let's say you had $100 worth of gold and you put it in a bank, and then that bank said, okay, now we're going to print $100 worth of cash. So now you got to even swap, right? There's $100 worth of gold in the bank, and there's $100 of cash floating around all over this island. So all of a sudden, oh, there's not enough cash floating around. We got to have more cash so people can buy stuff and everything. All right, well, let's just print more money, right? So now each dollar is now, instead of worth $1 worth of gold, now it's worth 50 cents worth of gold.
Right.
You know, let's print out $200 more dollars.
That's
okay,
that's not even a make-believe scenario on an island. That's how banking started. And when they started printing up more money than what they had to back it up on the bank, people started to panic, and they went to go get all their gold out of the bank, only to find out that piece of paper that said they had this amount of gold didn't mean shit, because that gold wasn't there. It's called a run on the bank, and it closed down a lot of banks. And I think that first happened in London when the banking industry started to take off. And that's where we are now, because these banks don't have that kind of, even if you're just talking cash, it doesn't exist in banks. It's all numbers on a screen.
Yep.
You don't have to print more money. Add a couple zeros to an account, there it is. It suddenly just appears. It's all digital numbers on a screen now. It ain't backed by shit, honestly.
Which is what makes me most nervous about shit like cryptocurrencies and everything else, is because at least with the dollar bill or with your credit card or with your debit card, you have a physical representation of your money that they owe you. Okay, that this paper says that you owe me this in financial currency. Okay.
Right. Or gold.
If we turn it to digital, if we turn everything to digital, okay, like the cryptocurrency,
it pretty much has. It's real close now, even with the American dollar. It's real close to all the digital market.
Right. But when they do that, when that finally happens, what's to stop the banks or the government to turn around and say, you know what? We just don't have the money in the reserves to compensate what you have accumulated, so we're just going to lower your bank account. You can't stop them. You have nothing to say. Here, this is what you owe me. Now that digital screen just erased a couple of zeros. Instead of $75,000 in the bank, you got $75.
Yep.
And you can't fight it. You got nothing to back your claim. I will never put a cent into cryptocurrency.
Oh,
never.
That's a bad idea.
Well, yeah, that's just like when you buy a new credit card or you set up for a new credit card. That's brand new numbers on the screen. They just took and created money out of thin air for you, and there's nothing backing it up. So then every time a new credit card comes on the market and people start signing up for it, that just makes our American dollar worth less and less and less with every credit card. You know, and people don't understand how this stuff works, and it's too bad, because it always affects the minimum wage. It affects inflation, you know, but nobody pays any attention. Oh, let's just sign up for credit cards, get up to debt and up to our assholes, you know. And they do that, but they don't realize the consequences.
You know why people don't realize that? Because it's not taught in schools. They're too busy worrying about stupid shit like critical race theory than teaching people basic economics, balancing your checkbook.
Yeah.
Which are things that you could actually use in the real world.
Or maybe even how to do your fucking taxes.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't remember, even when I went to school, I don't remember any classes on that.
No.
The closest they had is when I went to a vocational school my last couple of years of high school, and they had one called employability, which had some of that information in it.
And that's important. Like, I'm not saying algebra isn't important, but only people who go into scientific studies or high engineering will ever use it. So instead of putting such a high emphasis on algebra, why don't we have an economics class or a living life class where you learn how to change a tire, change oil in your car,
right? Just
life skills. How to fucking cook a basic meal like spaghetti and meatballs.
Are you guys under the same impression? Like in your day, do you remember when we had economics class in school where they had to teach us how to sew and how to cook? And
home economics.
Yeah, but it was elective. It was like a once a week elective.
It was an elective, but when I actually went through it, you had to take both. You had to take both shop class. You had to take home ec.
when
That's a requirement.
And
When
I
was a kid.
didn't care. I thought home ec was great. It's shit that is I I cook most of my own meals most of the fucking time.
I
I
went
can
through,
cook, I can bake, I can do all that shit, and
I
that's
went
great.
I went through metal class, art class, home economics, and carpentry class, all in the same year because they did it semesterly. So like the first semester was wood shop, then the second semester was art, and the third was home economics, and then the final semester was metal class, metal
Right.
shop. I never got it full year round or as an elective to choose one or the other. They forced it on us, but they only gave us like a fraction of what they could have taught.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. But it was required to have some sort of those types of classes, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And it should be, I believe, because that way our
Oh, yeah.
young people become more well-rounded, and then that's a great thing. And a shout out to all of those people out there. I went to Northeast Wisconsin Technical College, and I am a wood tech. I went to school to learn all about carpentry, cabinetry, general construction, lumber mill use, cabinet finishing, and anything to do with wood. I'm a wood tech, and that's my main field. But myself personally, I help my family and I work in the restaurant.
Right.
But to shout out to all those construction guys out there, talk to your employers, because if the value of lumber is up and the value of all of the building materials is up, then your skilled labor is up, because it
True.
takes a skilled person to handle materials and not damage them and have them go in the garbage.
Oh
And
yeah,
if the materials are
absolutely.
expensive, you better demand a good wage.
Demand,
Because you
but
deserve
be
it.
careful about how you do it, because in this day and age, the employer is just as likely to get rid of you and hire two people for half of what you
Yeah.
need.
That's true. But it does not hurt to inquire with your employer and say, hey, isn't my skilled labor important even more so now because of the material cost is higher? To be skilled and not damage materials is a good thing, especially for a contractor or a contracting business. It's
No,
huge.
you're right. But just
So
be careful with going to your employers. Be careful. Don't push.
don't
too
start a
hard.
fight with your employer. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Right.
But mention it to him. Say, hey, don't you think I deserve a better wage? Since the building materials are going up, don't you think I deserve a better wage? Because I'm the guy who's going to handle them and not waste the materials for you. So think about that. Talk to your employer, because they may agree.
Yeah.
That is definitely words to live by, and I think we will leave it right there for you guys. Guys, what do you think? Do you think we're completely off base in how we feel about the economy? Do you think it's a good idea to bring general home economics back to school, basic schooling? Do you think that more people should run around mostly almost undressed? Let us know.
Almost fully unclothed.
Almost fully unclothed. Is that a good idea?
Gotta make sure you get that description right, because it's a unique one.
If so, let us know in the comment section down below. Don, real quick, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me almost fully unclothed in lots of places. You can find me if you go onto IMDb, go imdb.me/Donald Smith. You can find a lot of the movies I'm in. I have 3 movies right now on Tubi TV. I have like 4 or 5 movies in a series on Amazon.com. You can find me in a lot of different places. You can also always check out thelife1069.com. I'm thinking about bringing the life back to life at some future date, but I'm still enjoying a prolonged vacation. But, you can still email me. You can email me at thelife1069@gmail.com.
We could always start doing a test run of if you want to come back to the Life Radio on Breaking
I
the Fourth Wall
did 6
Daily
years
Show.
of a test run. So
I'm just saying, like on Breaking the Fourth Wall podcast during the week, we could always do little one shots of it. See if it feels right for you to bring it back.
Oh, yeah. We'll do something soon.
Absolutely. Kolin, tell them where they can find you and all the goodies that you want to promote.
We lost Kolin.
I think we lost Kolin.
Yeah, because it says his camera's on, but I sure don't see him.
No, I don't see him, and his thing. Well, it's that. Is it working?
Oh,
There he is. There he is.
hey. Yeah, guys. I'm around. Go
Yeah, good.
and do your thing. Their wage if they'll let you. Take care of that kind of stuff. Be safe. Wear a mask if you need to. Get your COVID shot. And if you want to get a hold of me, get on colinwashburn@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm all around. You want to send a message to one of these crazy yahoos? Get a hold of me. I'll let them know what's up.
And of course, guys, for breaking the fourth wall. If you enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out all the other podcasts of Breaking the Fourth Wall Entertainment. And if you prefer them in audio only format, we got you covered. Just check out Breaking the Fourth Wall Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. Guys, it's great to be back. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast. But we will catch you on the next Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly, and keep an eye out during the week, because you never know when a Breaking the Fourth Wall podcast one shot is coming your way. Catch you guys later.